Hi, my name is Ben Walker and this is a video in a series of videos to educate people about finance. So in partnership with Promise Yourself, we're aiming to give fair, impartial guidance to help you guys understand everything that you need to know for future life really. So today I'm talking about sharing a house. We're going to very simply go into different tenancy agreements such as joint, sole and subletting, and who's responsible for those pesky bills. So to start off with, a joint tenancy. Now this is when everyone has got one tenancy agreement between them for one property. So everyone signs the same agreement. Now in theory this is great, there's less paperwork to do, you don't all have to do your own separately, but it also means that if one person doesn't pay, then the landlord can come after any one of you, not necessarily the one that doesn't pay. So it's always very careful to make sure you're only doing this with people that you really trust. Also, with a joint tenancy, you don't actually have exclusive rights to any one room. In principle, you might agree to have one bedroom to yourself, but legally, anyone can come and go into any of those rooms as it's only one tenancy agreement. Now, with a sole tenancy agreement, that means that everyone within that property has their own agreement. Now, with this comes the legal protection of actually having your own exclusive room, usually a bedroom. Now that means that legally people can't just go in and out of your room whenever they please. That is your room and it gives you a bit more protection. Also, if you have a sole tenancy and then someone else in the property doesn't pay their rent, that's not going to affect you. They're on their own tenancy agreement that will not affect your tenancy agreement in that property. So if you're looking for a bit more legal protection, a sole tenancy is probably the way to go. And then from there you have subletting. Now in a sublet, you, the tenant, will not have a direct relationship with your landlord. Instead, you'll have you, the tenant, and then a head tenant who is then renting from the landlord. This means that the only person really responsible to the landlord will be the head tenant. So if he doesn't pay his rent, he could get evicted, which could then have a further effect on you. Furthermore, of course, it's all dependent on your tenancy agreement with your head tenant, but you won't necessarily have all the same rights as you would if you were renting directly from the landlord. So just make sure in each of these cases you're reading the fine print to understand what your rights and your responsibilities really are. Now further down in this post, I've listed in a bit more detail about each of these types, so go ahead, give those a read, learn as much as you can as always. Now when it comes to paying bills, again, it's very important to know who's responsible. For example, if it's a utility bill and you're the only one with a name on that utility bill, it doesn't matter if you all agree to share and then someone doesn't pay for some reason. It doesn't matter that they haven't paid. You will be the one responsible, so you will have to pick up that extra payment. Now, if everyone's name is on the utility bill, then from there, if someone doesn't pay, you're all collectively held responsible. So the supplier can then go after whomever they really choose. So there's a lot less protection when it comes to utility bills. There's a lot less defined, so you can't really figure out who's responsible, who's not. It may be worth getting your own separate contract drawn up just so you know everyone's going to pay on time. And again, you really only want to be entering these things with people that you trust. So what we can gather from all that, it's a very quick video, is essentially read your fine print. Make sure you know what kind of agreement you have, make sure you know who you're going into a property with, and also make sure that you have some level of trust between you, your landlord, or your head tenant. Now, hopefully you've learned something here today, and I'll see you again next time.